The Morlock wizard once again asked the handyman Sato if he is able to open the lock by himself. Sato opened up his bag of tools, which was filled with a number of different tools lined up in an organized way. Realza asks curiously about the tools in fascination. Sato is working keenly on the door to open the lock while the other three stand there watching them. Rasa is worried if he is unable to open the lock and activates the trap while trying to open the door. La Fan tells her that she herself wanted a skilled thief as her ally. Just then, with the help of his tools, Saito manages to open the door. Everyone is amazed by his work and appreciates him. Sato pulls the door, but everyone is surprised to see another door behind it. Lefanpan comments that the room is really secured well so that no one can enter it. Sato again starts working on opening the lock but strangely finds it difficult to unlock. The Morlock wizard tells him that the door is locked with a magic seal and that is why he's unable to open it. With the help of the wizard's magic, he is able to open the door successfully. They open the door and find a treasure box inside the room. They cheer up upon seeing the treasure chest and encourage Saito to open the treasure box as well. All of them step inside the room and Saito starts his work on the treasure chest. Sato recalls his memory from the other world where he works as a locksmith to open up the locks. He manages to open the door to a house for a lady who forgets to bring along the key with herself. Sato tells her that the total cost of the work is 7,000 yen. The woman complained that he was charging her more than the usual and asked him for a discount. Saito tells her that the amount is what he usually charges all his customers and that the price is even mentioned on the advertisement as well. The woman argues that 7,000 yen is too much for 1 minute's worth of work and that he should give her a discount. While recalling the memory, he manages to open the chest and feels fulfilled upon completing the task. More than in the previous this world, he opens the chest and comes across a mimic which attacks him. Realza manages to kill the monster with the help of her sword easily and asks Saito if he's alright. Saito thanks the armed warrior Realza for protecting him. Just then, Saito realizes that Realza's helmet was loose. He offers to fix it for her as it would be dangerous if the helmet comes off during a fight. Realza asks him if she really has to take off the helmet, but Saito asks her to take off the helmet so that he can fix it. Realza takes off her helmet and tells him to fix it quickly. Saito tells her that it will only take a little while to fix it. He sits down and begins his work on the helmet. Realza appreciates his work by saying that he really can fix anything. Saito tells her that he is a handyman and should be able to do all the works to fix things around him. Realza asks him if he is a locksmith or a handyman. Saito tells her that he works as a handyman and is able to do various works like fixing bags, opening locks, looking for lost dogs, and a lot of other things. Realza asks him if he also likes dogs. He tells her that once his client lost his dog named Shiba Maru, so he helped him find him. Realza laughs upon hearing the strange dog name and unconsciously touches her scar on the face and tells him that he is amazing for doing all the things. After taking the chest outside, all of them are sitting in the fields around the mountains while the wizard Morlock was busy. Saito asks Realza if the wizard Morlock is supposed to be a great wizard. Lefan tells him that he is over level 80 and better than all of them, and she reveals that Morlock is level 80, while Realza is level 41, she herself is level 35, and Saito is level 8. Realza tells him that he is great but he often forgets his incarnations and that he even forgets where they were supposed to regroup. They shared the memory with him and tell him that they kept waiting for him for a long time but he didn't show up, so they went into the dungeon ahead of him. They tell him that he then used teleportation magic to catch up to them later. They tell him he made a blunder while calculating his coordinates and fused him with a golem. Saito asks them how he manages to help them. Realza tells him that he helped him as he was fused with a golem. They share another incident with him and tell him that another time he forgot his incantations and was kicked out of his own party. Realza tells him that he forgot about them and that they were worried about him because he disappeared and then appeared again with the undead. They hardly managed to get out of there. After that, they tell him another incident where all of them died and only the Morlock managed to survive. The old man's energy was drained completely but he still managed to drag all their bodies behind him and escape to the surface. Morlock saved their lives by selling all their weapons and bringing them to the church. She then remembers and asked Morlock why he didn't sell only her armor. Morlock replies by saying that he forgot to sell the armor. They continue their journey. Just then, Morlock complained of hurting his back. Divine Magician Lefenpan manages to heal him with a pain relief and improved blood circulation. During the journey, Lefenpan helps them to recover but also expects to get paid as well. She finishes her job and asks for a gold coin in return. Morlock complains that she is being greedy and asks for money even though they are allies. She thanks him for the money and then puts the coin in her bag. After seeing the large size of the bag, Saito offers to carry the bag for her. He mentions that even if she uses her magic to carry the bag, it's still heavy for her. Saito offers to make a bag for her, to which she agrees. He tells her that he used to work in home improvement centers and that he is used to working on the locks and on the bags as well. He cuts the fabric for the bag and custom tailors it for her size and wings. He then presents her the bag and asks her to try it out. Lefenpan likes the bag and asks for the price of the bag. Saito declines her offer by saying that she didn't have to pay for the bag, but Lefenpan tells him that he should be compensated for his labor. Saito tells her that Morlock is always helping him with his magic, so she can make his back better. Morlock asks him if he is sure to be compensated in this way. Lefenpan comments that she doesn't like this kind of thing but still helps Morlock with pain relief and improved blood circulation. Morlock tells them that the healing process is working even better than before. Since that day, Lefenpan takes care of his back pain even more than before. Saito is working on his work with the help of a measuring tape. He measures the length in centimeters and millimeters. Upon hearing the terms, both Lefenpan and Realza inquire about the terms. Saito tells them that they are units of measurements in this world and asks them what unit they use in their world for measurement. Realza tells him that they use Madrica as a unit of length. Realza tells him that Lefenpan is roughly 1 Madrica. Saito then calculates that 1 Madrica almost equals to 30 centimeters. Saito then wonders about the inspiration behind the unit. Morlock tells him that the story behind the unit belongs to the King Madrica I from a long time ago. He tells them that the king had a long weenie and that he used it to reproduce 300 children. The scholars of that time used it as the basis of unit based on the length equals 1 Madrica. Realza comments that the story is awful. Saito wonders what length was indeed long by looking at Lefenpan. Lefenpan tells him not to look at her like that and gets embarrassed. At night, a dwarf magician is traveling through the forest. Although it is unusual in his family, but because of his high aptitude, he became a magician. His magic is simple. He first endures the enemy's attacks and then attacks them with a spell caster. He cares for no one and no one cares for him. He is used to living alone, but a little puppy accompanies him all the time hidden in his helmet. He ponders that sometimes the nights become very low only for him. Back at the cave, both men and women are eating together. The man mentions how they have traveled so long to the 13th floor. The girl agrees and comments that it is really dark in the cave. He tells her that from here their own attack magic won't be effective and that they'll have to cast strengthening magic on their weapons to fight. The girl tells him that they should continue their way and also tells him to stay behind her as the path ahead is dangerous. Back at the item store, the store girl Mavina appreciates Saito about the fact that he also knows about the abacus. Saito tells her that he learned about it when he was a child and that they use 10-finger-based numbers. Mavina tells him that they use this system because humans have 10 fingers on their hands. Just then, someone in armor enters the shop. Mavina welcomes the person and asks if they have any medical herbs. Mavina shows her the way and tells the person to look at them. Saito recognizes her for being Realza and comments that he didn't know she has another armor. He declines by saying that he is mistaking her for someone else but also speaks his name. Saito answers by questioning how she knew his name if she is not Realza. She then quickly hurries out of the shop to Lefenpan. Lefenpan tells her that if she was curious she should have gone with Saito. Lefenpan also comments that Saito is pretty amazing for recognizing her. Mavina shows him the blade she bought for 18 gold coins. Saito tells her that it was made of mithril silver and even though it looks as a dummy blade, it's still worth more than 300 gold coins. Realza is watching them both interact from the window. While continuing their journey in the cave, they are attacked by a monster. Morlock tells Saito to stay behind him but forgets the incantation again. Realza, seeing the situation, quickly kills the monster and comments how Morlock is being forgetful these days. Lefanpan thinks how Realza is really worried for him. Morlock said that Realza has now a role to assist him and that Lefan can have the important role of healing his back. Among this, Saito realizes how he is a burden for them as he cannot do anything to protect them. He thinks that he can only open locks and that is enough to ask others to protect him. They are again attacked and there is no end to the monsters coming out. Morlock wonders if they have taken the wrong path. Morlock tells Realza to stay behind him and uses fiery heat blast to side them all, but he again forgets the incantation. Saito reminds him of the incantation and he manages to kill all of them. He again gets back pain and Lefanpan helps him. Realza appreciates him, to which Saito tells her that he thought that if he could memorize the incantations, he could at least help Morlock with his magic and that he could be an assistant to him. They enter another room where Saito works on a chest lock. Just then, he triggers something and falls into the ground. Morlock tells them that they cannot use magic inside there. Saito wakes up in the water where he is in a seriously injured state. He tries to get up but yells in pain and again falls down. He then thinks that they don't have a rope long enough to help him. He then wonders if others will help to save him as he is just a handyman for them. He then thinks that this world is just like his world. He remembers all the times he spent with his team. Just then, Realza appears and tells him that they have to follow the water flow as they cannot use magic here. Saito tells them that he thought that they would never come to save him. Morlock tells him that they will never abandon him. Realza offers her help to Saito.